Hello everyone, welcome to the Adkup Show. Picture a world with no coins, no notes, and no digital numbers glowing up in your bank application. Just humans trading whatever they had: goats, grains, tools, salt. But very quickly, something strange happened. A farmer wanted shoes, the shoekeeper didn't need wheat. A hunter wanted milk, but the cowherd didn't need meat. Human trade was stuck, and so began the first major economic innovation in history. Barter system was simple but horribly inefficient. To trade, two people needed a doable coincidence of wants, something that almost never happened. And to solve this problem, societies around the world did the same thing without even talking to each other. They picked something everyone would accept, even if they didn't need it: salt, grain, shells, beads, copper, cattle. This is what became commodity money. But the story was just getting started. 5,000 years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia, clay tablets were used to record debts. People stored grains in temples, and the priest kept track of how much each person owned. They didn't need to carry anything. Your wealth was written in clay, literally. This was humanity's first ledger, the earliest version of a bank account. But soon, another civilization took money to a whole new level. Move to ancient Lydia around 600 BCE. A small kingdom, but with a big idea. They discovered that an alloy called electrum could be shaped into small standardized lumps, each with king's stamps. Portable, durable, identical. And this is what became the first coins. A breakthrough so powerful that Greece, Persia, India, and China adopted it rapidly. For the first time, soldiers, traders, and peasants all used the same universal tokens. Money was no longer just about survival, it became a symbol of sovereignty. Wherever the king's face went, so did his power. Meanwhile, in India, punch-marked silver coins, panas, were circulating as early as 5th century BCE. But India did something even more advanced: the Hundi system. Merchants could travel across kingdoms without carrying any money. A simple paper note written by a banker in one town could be redeemed in another. A financial innovation centuries ahead of Europe. It was the earliest form of check, promissory note, and money transfer, all in one. Now jump to the Tang and Song dynasties of China. Merchants traveling long distances felt carrying coin was too heavy and sometimes dangerous. So they began using jiaozi, a paper note backed by metal deposits. This was the world's first true paper currency, and it worked brilliantly until emperors got greedy. They printed more and more notes, unbacked by metal. This resulted in inflation so extreme that people burned money for warmth. It was cheaper than firewood. A lesson the world would forget repeatedly. Europe was still catching up. During the Renaissance, the Medici family of Florence cracked the code of modern finance. They invented double-entry bookkeeping, branches in multiple countries, credit systems, and exchange bills. Their network was so powerful that kings borrowed from them. Money had evolved from physical objects into information. By the 1800s, countries realized something. People trusted money only if it was backed by something precious. So most of the world adopted the gold standard. 1 unit of currency equals to a fixed amount of gold. It brought stability, but only until World War I. Countries printed more money than they had gold. War was expensive, economies were collapsing. By the time World War II ended, the gold standard was effectively dead. But the world still needed a new monetary system. So in 1944, world leaders gathered at Bretton Woods. They made a bold decision. Most global currencies would be linked to the US dollar, and the dollar would be linked to the gold. But once again, governments spent too much. By 1971, the US no longer had enough gold to back all the dollar in the world. President Nixon ended the gold link. Money lost its physical anchor, and yet it didn't collapse. Why? Because people believed in their governments. Fiat currency is money backed by nothing physical, but only trust. If people believe the government can maintain stability, the money works. If people lose trust, the money collapses. Think of Weimar Germany's wheelbarrow of cash or Zimbabwe's $100 trillion note. Money had become fragile but incredibly flexible. By the late 20th century, most money wasn't cash or coins. It was just numbers on computer screens. Banks didn't store your pound or dollars. They stored data. Money transformed from metal to paper to code, and then came the final twist. In 2008, during the global financial crisis, an anonymous creator called Satoshi Nakamoto introduced Bitcoin, a currency with no central authority, no government, no bank, supply cap to 21 million, and transactions recorded on a public ledger. Bitcoin challenged the idea that government should control money. Whether it becomes the future or not, one thing is certain. It sparked the largest debate about money since the innovation of coins. Today, money is evolving faster than at any point in history. Central bank digital currencies, blockchain-based payment systems, AI-driven financial networks, cashless societies, and virtual economies inside games and metaverses. The definition of money is changing. It's no longer an object. It's a network, a language, a shared belief system. The story that began with barter and grains now has become a story of trust, technology, and global connection. And in the next 50 years, the concept of money might change more than it has in the last 5,000 years. If you found this information insightful, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. How will the world trade in post-dollar world? Let's keep the conversation going in comment section. I will see you in the next video. Peace out!